Okay, so hi guys. As you all know, my name is Miko, and I'm new to the company. I'm new here at Abbott. Um, I'm a digital marketing, but right now I just wanna share the things that I do regarding content ideation. But there is a disclaimer. Use the following methods that I'll be sharing with you in a while. Use them at your own risk. So what do I mean? Some of the methods that I will share worked, and some of the methods that I will share are really unconventional. Some of you might disagree. Some of you might think this is way getting out of hand or too extreme. But just give it a shot, and I'll show you some of the things that I don't know. What the heck? Just go with it. So I'll start with showing you some of my templates because there are times that I'm doing the outreach. So in my previous company, I was also one doing the outreach, and it was as per instruction by our boss was that to include at least three titles in the outreach. I'm just checking if it's recording. All right, yes, recording. So I'll share to you a sample. This is an outreach sample. So you asked me where did I get these three articles, these three titles? I got it from here. All right. So this is the I call this the title bank. So what I would do is I would first categorize things. So what is the topic? If the topic is about email marketing, what would be my target? And the number, just try to put a number, but there's no number in here anyway, so I'll just delete this column. And then the title. So the title, target, topic. All right. So some of these emails we haven't used because as a team, what we usually do um, is to have a meeting and then try to show some of the titles that we formulated. Because we were asked to prepare prior to the meeting. We were asked to prepare for some content ideations, and by the time that the meeting would start, each and every one of us would show the content ideation titles that they have made. So as for me, these are the ones that I did for like a B2B e-commerce category. So we will be using this for the meantime. And I think as I've observed, you guys also have prospects or targets that are in line with this type of industry. And I think it's really common nowadays. So going back to the template, um, yeah, a little bit about the outreach that I do. It's really extreme, as you can see. The website is marketingscope.com, and what I usually do, as much as possible, I try to put in the link to the guest post guidelines. And before this, I browsed at the website and then you know try to incorporate things. But yeah, so the subject line is here, and then my intro is here. So will the real Slim Shady please stand up? We all know. I don't know if some of you guys know. It's a rap song from Eminem. And why did I include Shady? Because one of the content ideas that I will be inputting in the middle is this: the real Slim Shady. How to spot a potentially treacherous link builder. So that is not even about B2B. Yeah. So sometimes I do that to insert something that is totally different, but it's still connected with the digital marketing that we are doing. So I think in this process, because I don't have a uniform process, I don't have a consistent process. Sometimes I do this spontaneously. So before this was blank. Sometimes I write the subject line at the end. So these three content ideations would really be my anchor in really developing the outreach. So I think it would also be good, you know. So after um, you know, doing the intro, is it the rain or, in Christian's words, is there some spooky force that keeps on spawning spammy hat, black hat link builders? So it would take too long if I explain to you why I write this intro, because the reference is in the article that Ivan wrote, the guy that is in here in Marketing Scope. But anyway, that's for a different session. So yeah, so I would say, in line with these thoughts, I'd like to propose some juicy articles that would make honest and clean work, minus the shady deals, of course, because I am preparing the person reading to one of the contents would be to be you know, the real Slim Shady, how to spot a potentially treacherous link builder. I mean, if this is really too extreme for you, I get it. We were in a previous comment, we were allowed to experiment on things. So yeah. Now let's go to the bank. Okay. So what I used here was from here. So let's search B2B. Okay. Born to be the best, 10 redefining B2B strategies that are 2020 friendly. I think I used that here. The real Slim Shady. Oh, it's here. It's about e-commerce. All right. How to spot a potentially treacherous link builder. So I put that here as well. And this one also has a musical reference because I am a musical person. So some of my pitches or even subject lines really are inclined to music. And I've looked up Ivan, this guy Ivan. So I think, and I look at his profile. I think it was in LinkedIn or Facebook, and I assume that he sort of 30 something. So I think he knows Boy George. I mean, even if you're young, you would know Boy George from the Culture Club. And Karma Chameleon is really kind of a popular song. So I said, e-commerce chameleon. E-commerce chameleon is a platform or email marketing system. So that is the name of the email marketing system. I would like to introduce. I would like to write, propose an article about it. And I said, even Boy George can't refuse his email marketing. So why did I say? Why did I mention Boy George in the title? Because he sang the song Karma Chameleon. I know it may be sounding stupid right now. I might be sounding too absurd right now, but yeah, I think this pitch worked. Uh, the response was positive. Um, there was a lot of haha in the response by Ivan. Okay, so the thing here is that how do I make these content ideations? Because I think Amit wants me to share how do we come up with these things. So as I've seen from, I think Amit sent me a file about how you guys do it. There are some similarities, but I think I'll just share what are the methods that I'm using. So right now, if we are talking about the topic email marketing, small medium business, mm, I can use Pinterest. So we all know Pinterest. All right. So Pinterest actually surprisingly has a lot of juicy ideas that we can use as well. So email marketing. So usually, yeah, be careful not copying the entire idea though. Yeah, because some of these ideas have been used. So email marketing, small medium business. So my first the first title that I formulated was "Quit Old School, Step Up Your Marketing Game This 2020." So the anatomy of every title that I do is I try to make it sound current. So 2020, but right now it's 2021. I've got to tweak it to make it more sound make it sound current. So this type of title is sort of a question or narrative. Yeah, because of what I we were told to do narrative titles, question titles, and listicles. We call them listicles. So the next one would be a question title. 2021 is the right time for AI participation in marketing. So there's no strict formula really. I'm just trying to show you the anatomy that I usually do. Um, this is not too good. I think I was in a rush. But this one, oh wait, the one that I used, born to be the best, B2B. So I was trying to give a new meaning to B2B strategies. So B, born to for two TO to be the best. So and then would be a listicle. So 10 redefining B2B strategies that are 2020 friendly. So right now it's 2021. You can use this one. Never again. 5 keys to avoid stalling business deals is 2020. So these are the titles that I come across with here in Pinterest or in Ahrefs. I know that you guys recommend also Google, but if you can use directly from Ahrefs, well, I don't know. It's your style, you know. It depends on which platform you are comfortable with in searching. So here, I'd like to set this in title, Content Explorer, in title, and B2B. All right. I know some of you use like in content, but this is just me. This is just my style. I'm just showing it to you. You can follow it or not. It depends on the need or the necessity. All right. So 5 B2B growth hacking tool for your business. So what I did here was, yeah, growth hacking tricks for lead generation. So this one, um, 5 B2B growth hacking tools for business. This is a lot more less lively than what I did. So growth hacking, I like to do words like tricks. Yeah. Instead of just simply saying growth hacking tools for your business, I would say growth hacking tricks for lead generation, which is more specific. Do you get the point? Saying business is too generic. But when you say lead generation, we're trying to be more specific. What will these growth hacking tricks that I'm proposing will do? What would be the consequences or what would be the effect of these 10 growth hacking tricks that I'm trying to propose in the article? The answer is lead generation. And then I would always put a year again, this 2021. So that's one sample. Um, E-commerce chameleon. Where did I find this? I think I searched e-commerce. Well, I'm not sure if we're gonna find it again this time because maybe it's been buried in a lot of search results lately. So let's just try e-commerce, and if this doesn't appear, then it's fine. So here, e-commerce, small medium business. Five worst things that could happen in 2020 if e-commerce did not exist. Now this one is totally made up. I totally made this up. Well, if you know your creativity juice is present at the moment, I suggest you should take advantage of it because I don't really know how I think about these things, how I come up with these things. Sometimes I'm a bit imaginative, so sometimes I will uh use Ahrefs, use Pinterest, but most of the time, I mean not most of the time, there's a percentage of my time that I would just, you know, come up with these titles. So these are the samples. So let's try to add to the list this one. Let's say e-commerce again. E-commerce. And then instead of small medium business, let's say corporate. Uh let's say big companies. Let's try. Okay, so let's see. It's hard doing this on the spot. But anyway. Okay. Wow, 78.3K traffic. Well, this is good. It's timely. Understanding the COVID-19 effect on e-commerce. COVID-19 effect on e-commerce. Let's scrap this out. I just changed my mind. That's how inconsistent I am. So we could use COVID as a starting point. COVID-19 and effect on e-commerce. It's a bit generic, right? So effect on e-commerce, what I would do is that effect on e-commerce surviving. I would say 5 reasons e-commerce thrive, 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 not surviving. I think it's thriving. 5 reasons why e-commerce is thriving. Instead of COVID-19, I think I would say during the pandemic. During the pandemic. And then later on, I might be dissatisfied, so I would just create this another one, other titles like COVID-19 no match for no match for e-commerce, and then 7 reasons why. It may be I know it may be wrong for now, but later on when I'll try to read all of the ideas again, and that if I find that there's something wrong, I would I would edit them again. But for now, I think as long as I get the hint or the gist of the title that I want to make, how to make it sound, I'll just leave it at that, and then um so yeah. So most of the things that I would be doing for the next 5 would be about I would relate it everything to COVID-19 or this pandemic. Like the next one, I would think there is no, I mean, the, like 6 reasons why e-commerce. Um, I would want to say does not need vaccine for COVID-19. Why e-commerce is um COVID-19. Why 6 reasons why why e-commerce is the big thing. Um, so you can see that I didn't include any year. because we all know that COVID-19 just started in 2020, and then it's still going on. So the title would still sound current because we're still facing it. And I think I would not use six reasons why e-commerce is the big thing. Um, big thing. I don't know. I would risk it. Um, is the pandemic's next big thing? I don't know. I'll just get to it later. But I mean, you should allow yourself to make mistakes. You're still not gonna send it anyway. As long as you have to um, list the ideas, because later on you might forget it. If it still sounds wrong, just put it there as long as there will be a record, as long as you will have a long list. And then, as I've said, you can go back to it earlier. So I didn't use any complicated stuff. So I just even based it in one title that I found, and then I created how many? Three. So if I exhausted all of my ideas, then I could just proceed to the next one. Um, okay, simple but complete guide. hmm So if I don't like the titles, I would just usually skip them. We have an abundance of title anyway. I would like. How about Pinterest? Email marketing. So I think I was gonna change this to e-commerce. So what I did here is that from one idea, we can create multiple titles. It depends on, the inspiration that you have. How to create a badass online boutique business plan. This is actually good. Horrible mistakes you're making with e-commerce and how to fix them. Okay, so let's say mistakes. This one. I'm not gonna copy the entire title. I'm just gonna be dealing with the word mistake. What are the synonyms of mistake? Errors. So sometimes I do it like that. Or misconceptions. So see, if you're not ready to make a whole title, you can just put in the words that you're gonna use that would sound appealing. Yeah, let's make it three. So mistake. Uh, can say top 10 mistakes that would shut down your ecom. Shut down. That would shut down. I think we should say easily shut down your online business. Something like that. Top 10 mistakes that would easily shut down your online business. It sounds, it doesn't sound too corporatish. It sounds threatening even, that if I would be the reader, I was like, what? Easily shut down my online business? Top 10 mistakes? Then I should read it. Errors, let's say 5 errors you don't wanna. I mean, right now there's an inspiration, so I think that's why I can make titles easily right now. So it depends. So we got it's. I think the creativity part really comes into play here. 5 errors you don't. Uh, you don't. It sounds good, right? Your company. 5 errors that would, I think I used that already here. I'll just skip it. I'll go back to it later. So see, so if, if I'm having a hard time, I have to skip. Misconceptions. Uh-huh. So maybe I could also, if I'm losing ideas, e-commerce misconceptions, maybe I can find something here. Mm, 6 misconceptions. Mm, 10 common misconceptions about e-commerce. Okay, so I think I got an idea. 6 misconceptions, e-commerce misconceptions you don't wanna miss. Misconception, miss. So I don't know. It's subjective. I think it's good. You might not think that it's good because misconceptions you don't want to miss. So you should also take into consideration how does it sound when you read it. I think that's one of the things that's so important when you create titles. You have to read it. If it tickles your ear, if it tickles your imagination, then I think it has great potential. So yeah, let's go back here. 5 errors that would crumble down. I think we should deviate from e-commerce. What are the other terms that we could use that put email marketers against the wall? Is that a thing? Against the wall. I think it's usually used. I think 5 errors that would jeopardize your career as an email marketer. I think that would be better. 5 errors that would jeopardize your career as an email marketer. Jeopardize, it's a big word. Um, so I'm not totally satisfied with this second one. 5 errors that would. Hmm. So guys, now that you're listening, what do you think? What are the other words that we could use that would? We can't curse. We could say fucked up, or we could say. So what are the other synonyms for fucked up? Uh, so that would jeopardize. That ruin, and I think that could ruin your career as an email marketer. I think it sounds meh, but if you're gonna present it um as in one outreach, maybe you can have two that are good and one that is meh. I think that would be better. So basically, the summary of what I did is like we could always create some content ideas before the meeting. I think Amit is gonna call us everyone for a meeting. So before the meeting, if ever Amit wants to conduct one, um, if you're an outreacher, it's really useful to create some of these things, even if you're not writing for an outreach, because someday or who knows, if you run out of ideas, you can always go back to this list, and it's easier doing the outreach like what I did here. It was so it was it saved me a lot of time because all of these content ideas were already here. I just have to search B2B. So you know um and besides, if you're making a lot of these, the momentum is high, you'd become more productive because based on my experience before, I was not doing this. I was fond of doing titles in between writing the outreach. It was much more slower to do that if I would create the titles while I was doing the outreach. It was much slower. But when I did this, it saved me a lot of time. Yeah. So to sum up, create a lot of lists. Just put in the category. Like this one is e-commerce, something like that. And put it list. So it's a narrative. So these ones are list and list. So you can do this pattern, or you can modify it if you have a better idea. All right. So if you want to use Google as well, then that would be okay. So I think that would be it. I think I covered everything up. I hope you learned something. I don't know. And if you learned something, then you know I think I'm gonna post this in Slack. So I think so that everyone can watch it. So thank you for taking time to listen to this short clip.